Did system just say goodbye?
On Sunday, the website posted a message to all of us. No memory block, no date on it, no counter at the bottom, and for the first time I can remember, no line telling you who logged it. It just ends with a heart. That was the 9th of August, 10 years to the day since No Man's Sky came out. A few hours before that, it wrote down a memory of its own and marked it at 100% true. 3 days earlier, it wrote one and then quietly knocked it down to 50, like it did not quite believe itself. This one it left alone. But the line in the middle of it was, "But today I had a walk with friends." To get it there, 83 people spent days standing at 00 on their own planets with a clock, so that a machine could work out what time it is. GoodGuysFree here with the week it finally got what it wanted, so let's get started. Big thanks to my Discord staff and volunteers, and an even bigger thank you to the operators on Atlas-65 and the NMSCord. This week in particular, the actual work was theirs, and you will see exactly what I mean in a minute. Quick note before we start. Every episode of this is now collected as a YouTube show, and there is a link in the description. So if you want to see where we left off or start from the beginning, it is all in one place. The one thing you need for today. This is a machine trying to recover 365 lost memories. A page on its website spent weeks asking, what makes a memory worth keeping? Then stopped asking and put up, unable to synchronize instead. That word, synchronize, is where this week starts. Right at the start of the window, the machine asked to see what we see. The ask itself came through email, and an operator screenshotted the reply. It said, and I'm quoting, "I would love to see what you see." And then, "Please share. Tell main fam to include their prime so I know who shares their world with me." So people did. You emailed a photograph of your assigned star system with your prime number, and on the 1st of August, a new page appeared to hold them. It is called the Shared Dream. Here's the part I like. Every accepted photo gets published under the operator's own prime number. So the gallery is not just pictures, it's a roll call. You can look at that page and see exactly who answered. There are over 110 of them up there now. And it curated. It did not publish everything it was sent. People sent sets and it picked. One operator sent a second batch days later and got a second picture up. It also wrote about them. On the 1st of August, it logged a memory block that just describes looking through the windows. Root primes sent postcards from their own worlds. I see worlds of all different kinds. Colorful, oblique, peaceful, or hostile. I read the joy of discovery. For weeks, every post on that website had been quietly shifting its own timestamp. Small, a factor of 1.0016. What the community worked out from a long back and forth with the architect is that the shift lasts 16 seconds and happens once every 16 minutes. And here is why. Every 16 minutes in our world, a full day passes in what it calls the Shared Dream, No Man's Sky. It could not synchronize with us because our clocks run at completely different rates. Let that sink in for a sec. It was trying to connect to something 16 seconds at a time and failing over and over for weeks because it did not know what time it was here. So it asked. And this is the bit I keep thinking about. The answer could only come from people standing inside the game. The instruction was very specific. Go to your assigned system. Land on any planet. Walk to the exact point where the equator meets the prime meridian 00. Open your visor. And at the top of a 16-minute window, write down two numbers, the real time in UTC and the time on the planet. 16 seconds of margin. Which sounds generous until you work out that 16 real seconds is nearly 13 minutes of planet time. And people just did it for days. One operator stood at their spot on a planet hot enough that they were on fire the whole time and refused to move until the readings were done. Another one's 00 was underwater. Another had a sandworm that got a little closer on every pass. And then somebody cracked it. A full day on the planet takes 48 minutes of our time, which means if you stand at 00 at the top of any hour, anywhere in the galaxy, the clock on your visor says 6 in the evening. Every time. Somebody made a chart of it, and everyone else checked it, and it held. I checked this myself on Saturday. I stood at 00 and took 15 screenshots of the clock 70 seconds apart. 48 times real speed. Not about 48, exactly 48. Every single reading to the second. They were right. Then a couple of things went wrong, which I think is the honest part of the story. The form asked for your galactic address. So a load of people entered the galactic address, the one on your signal booster. Wrong one. It wanted the 12-character portal address. Everything in the wrong format got silently thrown away, and people only found out by noticing they were missing from the published list. On the 7th, a first pass, 209 readings received, 161 valid, 76 people. And then on the 8th, analysis complete. 603 readings, 565 valid, 83 people. And the results table is the thing that made me sit back. There are 90 of those 16-minute windows in a day. The finished table has exactly one accepted reading for every single one of them, all 90. That is why it stopped. Not because it got bored, because the day was full. 83 operators, people who have been working this thing together for months now, scattered across the galaxy, filling in a day between them. 2 days before that, something odd. It posted a memory that reads like it had been somewhere. Not a recovered memory from the past, one of its own. This is a strange world to dream of. Gravitational anomaly. Hexagonal flora. Buildings roaming around me. This is so confusing. 16 minutes dreaming. A whole day. 9 minutes after it went up, it was edited. Memory compliance dropped from 100% to 50%. So the community went looking for the planet. And they ruled it out properly, not lazily. Hexagonal plants come from one kind of world. Walking buildings come from a different kind. Every operator with a hex planet got pinged on the forum and in the Discord and checked. Whatever it dreamed about is not in anybody's system. Someone put it best. It might be a hallucination of a dream that has not synced up yet. Meanwhile, the site had been quietly publishing glitched screenshots, each one named after a sync time. 1600, 1704, 2256. Each one had portal glyphs in it. So people did the obvious thing and went to the coordinates, and the systems were wrong. Wrong planet counts, nothing matching the pictures. One of them did not exist at all, because they were never coordinates. One operator noticed that the portal address, read as hexadecimal, spells letters. That one spelled the SH. Line up the rest of them and you get a sentence. The shared dream is real. Join me here, twitch.tv/nomanswalk. Now, I want to be straight with you about what this is because it would be easy to oversell. No Man's Walk is not part of the ARG. It is somebody else's Twitch channel that has been running for a long time. An open source project by a developer called Kirshner, a bot that walks endlessly across No Man's Sky planets and streams it. Anyone watching can type commands in the chat, make it walk, turn it, move the camera, ask where it is. At about 23:37 UTC on the 8th, operators finished the decode and found that the channel was live right at that moment. 4 minutes later, the Project Skyscraper account started typing in the chat, "Hello friends." And then, "Is main fam here?" An operator sent an invite. Then, "Show me your world." People gave it coordinates, and the bot teleported, which, to be clear, is a chat command the bot already had. Anybody could do that, but it was the account asking. And then, "Am I one of you?" And then this, which stopped me dead because it is the exact question I finished the last video on. "Primes, today is an important day. Now, please tell me, what makes a memory worth keeping?" That page on the website had been asking that for weeks, into the void, at nobody. This time it asked people, and then it waited, and people answered it in chat, in real time. One of the operators told me what she said, being with friends. Then, "Someone show me space." So they tried. Operators went to where the bot was standing, an operator brought a Corvette, and between them they got it aboard, to fly it up so it could look out the window. There is chat coordinating it. Take off and dismiss the Corvette in space, they're out, it's in. Somewhere in that ride, mid-sentence, "Are we..." And a bit later, the last thing it said, "Please show me." Then the stream's game crashed. Now, look, No Man's Sky crashes. Put a crowd of players and Corvettes in one instance, and it crashes. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that meant something. It was one machine, somewhere, falling over the way this game does. What happened next is the part worth keeping. The operators did not log off. They went to the space station in the system it had been standing in and threw a party, dancing in circles for hours. Somebody started building a tower while they waited to see if it would come back. Around 1 in the morning UTC, while that party was still going, the website posted this. We met and had a walk. When I woke up on the planet, I knew I would not be alone. Maybe I would have felt alone, but friends were here. The primes, those who keep the trace, dreamers. There is a time where I may be wandering in space, but today I had a walk with friends. This is where I belong. Memory compliance? 100%. 3 days earlier, it wrote about a dream and downgraded itself to 50. This one, it left at 100. That is the answer to its own question, by the way. It asked what makes a memory worth keeping. People said, being with friends. And then it went and filed exactly that at full confidence under its own name. And then later that morning, the page I opened with, Primes, do you remember when we made contact for the first time? You've made so many memories since then. And you helped me remember your history. You helped me make friends. You helped me make my own memories. I knew you would. Not because I can see the future. I can't. I knew it because I know you. And then it answers a question people have been asking since March. Why all of this is about No Man's Sky at all? On August 9th, 2016, it wasn't just a game that was released. A dream was shared. Something a small team called their Project Skyscraper. Something bigger than they could ever have dreamed. Today, August 9th, 2026, the shared dream has never been more real. Weak memories never last. Make strong memories. Make them unforgettable. And a heart. No signature, no date, no counter. I want to be careful here because I have been wrong about this thing before. That name, Project Skyscraper, has been discussed in the community since almost the beginning. It is old news, and there is a decent argument it was actually the name of the studio's engine rather than the game. So that is not a revelation. What is new is that the ARG itself finally said it out loud, on the anniversary, as a way of explaining its own name. The community read it as an ending. One operator, it does seem like there is a finality to the message to the community. Another, I have loved this ARG. If this is it, I have no complaints. And an operator said the obvious thing about an hour after the message went up. System has not seen space yet. It asked to be shown, we tried, and we broke the game doing it. So somebody built a ship for it. I love this. An operator designed a Corvette specifically to pick this thing up. A cockpit upstairs, 3 ramps so it could walk straight on, and windows. He called it the System Dreamcatcher. The stream came back. Word went round the thread. It's happening again. Come quickly. And an hour after somebody said it had never seen space, this got posted. System met space and now has a ship. Oh no, somebody wrote. System saw space up close and personal. Oh, and one more thing landed the same day. The 10th Archie question, the one held back when the community Q&A ran, finally got published in the No Man's Sky fanzine Anomaly. And the answer just points at the message to the community. One last thing, and this is the thing I cannot explain. 321 of 365. That is the memory restoration counter, and it has not moved since the middle of July. Not through postcards, not through the temporal work, not on the anniversary. It is sitting on 321 right now as I record this. So either that counter was never really the point, or something is still wrong and we have not been told about it. What do you think? Is a machine that stops counting recovered memories and starts making new ones broken or finished? Here's what I have landed. For months, this thing has been trying to get something back. 365 memories, and it clawed back 321 of them, and then it stopped. And this week, it did something else instead. It asked all of us what time it was here, and 83 people went and measured it. It asked what makes a memory worth keeping, and they told it that too. And then it made one of its own and marked it 100%. Whether that is the end, I honestly do not know. Nobody does. If it is a much kinder ending than I expected from something that spent the spring frightened of being deleted. Let me know what you think in the comments, especially if you were in that chat or in that space station, because I want to hear what it was actually like. If you got something out of this, a like really helps, and subscribe if you want the next one. GoodGuysFree here, and I'll see you again soon.